Welcome back. So I am so excited to be doing this video today because I didn't get a chance to do it last year, but it is a combination of all of my kind of favorite products from the last year. And when I started putting everything out and thought, you know what, this is going to be a really, really long video if I don't break it up. So what I decided to do is I'm going to do 3 segments for the products. One is going to be a drugstore. One is going to be like high end. I'm not going to say luxury because I don't do a lot of luxury. I do more, I'm going to say higher end products. And then I'm also going to do, my third one is going to be skincare, hair care, nails, that sort of thing. So I'm going to break it up into 3 parts. I'm hoping to get them all done and out by the end of the year, but you know what, with my schedule, sometimes it just makes it really tough. So I'm going to try my hardest to try and get it done by January 1st, but we'll see how that all works out. So today, first is going to be the drugstore version of what I'm going to do. And I don't know about you guys, but I can't wait for the end of the year for 2020 to be done and over with. And hopefully 2021 will be a much better year. And I was actually quite surprised at how many products I did end up trying, like both drugstore and like the higher end products. And this was actually really, really tough to do. I can't say that I bought like a lot of stuff that I normally would do maybe on another year. I guess because part of it was I'm not really wearing a lot of makeup sometimes if I'm not going to the office. You know, like I just kind of get up and take my shower and maybe throw a little bit. It depends on if I'm having like a Zoom meeting or something through the office that day. I might throw a little bit of makeup on, but for the most part, I haven't really bought like a whole lot that I probably normally would have. What we're first going to start off with is I'm going to try and put it according to how I would put it onto my face, if that makes sense. So the first thing, of course, is going to be primer. So the primer that I have been loving so much for the past year, and I know I've shown it to you guys lots of times, it's the Revlon, the Photo Ready Prime Plus, and I have this in the brightening and skin tone evening one. For whatever reason, it just is such a fantastic primer. My makeup stays on longer. It does even out my skin tone, and it does give me like a brightening effect. I believe it has, just let me double check here. I think it has yes, it has vitamin E and C in it, and it's a complex infused with lemon extract. So that is what it makes just a beautiful scent to it. And it has just a bit of color to it. So it is like on the yellower side. And when I put it in, you'll have to excuse my nails. I didn't get a chance to take my nail polish off today. So I want to switch my nail polish up, but I didn't get that opportunity today. But can you kind of see that it has like a really glistening effect? It's not greasy feeling. And it just sets my whole face so much better for makeup application. And then I think the benefit of having those skincare ingredients in there just makes it so much better for your skin, and it feels like a lotion is being put onto your skin. Some of them, like I've tried like gel formulations, I've tried all sorts of different types of primers, but this one, just from that nice little lotion, and right now like with it on my fingertips, it just has absorbed really beautifully into my skin. So absolutely love that primer. That's my favorite for the year so far. Next, we're going to go into foundation. So this one was a bit of a toughie, I'll be honest. So I had to choose 2 foundations. And I found that I didn't buy a lot of foundations this year. I bought a whole bunch last year, and so I didn't want to include that in these ones here. But the 2 that I bought this year are the NYX, the Born to Glow, and then also the Age Perfect Radiant Serum Foundation. Now they both are 2 different types of foundations. So we're first going to talk about the NYX, the Born to Glow. This one really gives a nice radiant look to your face. And I did a whole first impression video on it. I'll insert, if I have a bunch of videos with these products, I'll insert them down below for you guys, and that'll help you if you want to dive a little bit more into the information. But it's very creamy. It's not like a runny foundation at all, just kind of like a more of a thicker consistency. And then gives it just a beautiful illuminating look. And you can see kind of on my veins, it does cover up like my veins on the top there. So it's more, I'm going to say medium coverage foundation. It's a really natural looking foundation, more like a skin type foundation, and doesn't ever get cakey on me. Yes, it does settle. I'm going to say that pretty much about every foundation. There will always be settling in my fine lines around my, like my smile lines there. Always going to have some settling there. Doesn't matter what primer I use, what foundation I use. That's just how it is. I guess I smile a lot throughout the day. That's a good thing. And I have this one in the shade. This is a natural. I did find this was a pretty good match for me. I'm not wearing this one today because I'm trying to film a bunch of different videos today. But this one, like I said, doesn't ever appear cakey looking on my face. It's luminous looking, very radiant, and never feels heavy on my face. It just feels like I said, just like a second skin is on my face for a foundation. I really think that's important. So that is one of my top foundations for the year. And then the Age Perfect Radiant Serum Foundation. I have this one in the shade Cream Beige, number 25. But this one I absolutely love. This reminds me a little bit of a BB cream. And the reason I say that is because it's very light. It's not a heavy foundation whatsoever. And it's so creamy on my face, but in a good way. That's it there. Again, it's not like a runny foundation. You can still see the veins poking through. And this one is very luminous on my face. That's what I really love about it, because as I'm older, I don't want my skin to look really dry. It's already dry. So when I'm applying products, I don't want the products to make me look even drier. So this one does not do that at all. And it has the ingredients of, so with concentrated serum and antioxidants, the claims are flawless coverage that evens tone and smooths without settling into lines over time, more hydrated, radiant skin. And which I do find this does leave me really, really hydrated. Doesn't feel like I have anything on my face. And again, I did a whole first impression on like the whole Age Perfect line, and I'll insert that in the description box below. This one is exceptional for dry skin. If you have dry skin, you'll absolutely love this. If you have oily skin, you may not like this one, because from when I've watched other people talk about it, they said that it made their skin just to feel a little bit more oilier, so they did not like it as much. But I think if you have dry skin, you'll really, really like this one. So that is my number 2 foundation for the year that I'm enjoying. So next up is going to be concealer. And if you're familiar with my channel, this isn't going to be a surprise to you. So for drugstore concealers, my absolute favorite are the Born to Glow concealers. Absolutely love these. They are one of the best concealers I have tried in so long. I'm not going to say this is going to be a match for my Age Rewind. I still really like my Age Rewind, the Maybelline one. But this one leaves me a little bit more hydrated, whereas I find the Maybelline can sometimes leave it just a little bit dry under my eye. But it does have a sponge tip, like this sponge tip applicator on it. And what you do is you squeeze it through the top, and it's just like that. But again, very, very creamy. And it does, I'll be honest, it does have a little bit of settling under my eyes, but I think pretty much every concealer does that for me. I've yet to find a concealer that doesn't settle into under my, I have just a lot of wrinkling under my eyes here, so pretty much everything settles into those. But this one leaves my under eye area very radiant looking, very hydrated. My under eyes are extremely dry. Doesn't matter how much eye cream on it I use, they are just so dry. So when I find a concealer that doesn't make it look all cakey, doesn't make it look all dry, those are the ones I gravitate to. And the coverage is more of a medium coverage. It doesn't completely cover my dark circles, but with this one I do use a color corrector first before I apply it. I just want that dark pigmentation covered up. So I wouldn't say it's really necessarily buildable, because it is a very creamy formula. When you put too much product under your eyes, that has a tendency to then start looking really cakey under the eye. That's why I'm very cautious of how much product I actually do put under my eyes. If you don't have really dark circles under your eyes, then I think you would like this one. And like I said, it is a bit of an illuminator. I have two shades because I do like a brighter under eye. I have the light ivory shade, and then I also have natural. So it just depends on what I'm looking for that day, if I want my concealer to blend in with my foundation that day, or if I just want to make myself look more awake. I use the lighter colored one, but those are my absolute favorite concealers so far for this year. Again, another product that you're going to be very familiar with is we're going to do eyebrows now. And I honestly just have not found anything that is as good as this pencil for me personally from the drugstore. And it's my Maybelline the Brow Ultra Slim. Absolute favorite pencil. I have this one in the shade medium brown. For whatever reason, it is just the perfect pencil. I'm not sure if all pencils are like this. This is a 15 millimeter defining pencil, so that may be why I just really like how I used it today, just defines my eyebrow hairs and doesn't leave them all stiff looking. It just deposits enough color and really gives me those hair-like strokes. Surprisingly for a drugstore product. I know I've tried even the Anastasia one, and that's my opinion. I think this one beats the Anastasia one. So just my absolute favorite eyebrow pencil. And then to go along with eyebrow pencils, I have eyebrow gel. And my favorite so far this year is the CoverGirl, the Easy Breezy Brow Gel. And it just has this tiny little wand, but it leaves just enough of the, I prefer like a clear, like that's what this one is. It's like a clear. I personally don't want to deposit any more color into my brows once I have the color from the eyebrow pencil. I usually go with a clear one. Some people, prefer to have like a different color, but I just prefer to have the clear gel. And once you put it on, it leaves your hairs perfectly in place for the day. They are not going to budge once this dries, but it's not weighing them down at all. Like, it doesn't feel like I'm wearing anything once it dries. It doesn't feel like I'm wearing anything on my eyebrows, but they will stay there all day. So that is my favorite brow gel. And then to kind of finish the face off, I really haven't tried a lot of powders this year. I kind of stuck with my Maybelline Fit Me, and there was a couple of other ones that I tried. Well, my tried and true is like the Rimmel, the Stay Matte. I love that Rimmel one. So I wanted to venture out a little bit this year, and I tried the CoverGirl, the Clean Fresh. I am absolutely loving this powder. So I am wearing it today. I set my T-zone area, and I did a little bit under my eyes. Not a lot. I don't like to put a lot of powder under my eyes, but I like something to set my concealer. And this is in the translucent shade because I prefer translucent. I don't want to deposit any more color to it. That's it there. For a pressed powder, it does not leave me looking all dry looking. Some of the other ones that's why I don't usually gravitate towards more like a pressed powder. I find that those ones just make me really dry looking, but this one doesn't do that. I like more loose setting powders. I will always have a loose setting powder, but I wanted to just try something different. I'm so happy I tried this one. All right, so next we're going to move into eyeshadow palettes. Now, I didn't buy a lot of drugstore eyeshadow palettes this year. I found I bought a few more like higher end eyeshadow palettes this year. So the two of the ones that I do enjoy using that I did purchase is one is the Physicians Formula. This is the Rose All Play palette. Perfect little shades for me. And I like how they are more like pink and rosy tones. I usually go for the neutral looks. What I really do enjoy about this one is the formulation. It's very buttery. They're not chalky at all. Very minimal fallout with these ones. They're really soft and like a really creamy formula, which I really like that. And this one you can use wet or dry. I haven't tried it wet, but I'm sure if you did try it wet, the pigmentation would be phenomenal. Even just dry, the pigmentation is just incredible. And then I like how it's just like a whole shade, right? Like there's some mattes on here. There is some shimmers. I'll show you just like, look at the pigmentation. That is incredible. That was this shade right here. Let me do another one. So that's this lighter shade here, which when you look at like lighter shades, they usually don't show up like that. So I love this palette. It's one of my go-tos for like an everyday kind of look. And then just even trying to get them off. I'm just trying to wipe them off right now because look at that. I'm trying to, and they don't even come off. So the pigmentation and the formulation is just amazing. So love that palette. And then my next one, I was a little hesitant. I had this one in my Allure video, the products from Allure magazine that won awards for the year. I was a little hesitant to even try it because I have not had much success with Maybelline palettes before. But I was pleasantly surprised with this palette. So it is the Maybelline The Nudes of New York. But the shades are just my perfect shades. And surprisingly, I was blown away by how pigmented they are. And the formulation is not chalky like some of the other Maybelline palettes I've tried before. This one was not chalky like that at all. I'll do some of the darker shades because sometimes that's a little bit easier to show up. But this is, so I'm going to try and do it below that Physicians Formula one. So this is the one shade. Now that's going to be a lighter shade there, but look at that. They're not overly drying. And what I'm sometimes hesitant about is on my lids here because they are starting to get that real kind of crepey look to them. So I have to really watch what shadows I am applying. I do like the more softer, creamier textured ones because otherwise my eyes will start looking just too dry and I don't like that. All of that dry skin up here is just awful looking. But this one, I do really enjoy using this one. And it has, again, some mixtures. There's a lot of mattes. There is a lot of shimmer shades. And they go on just like a dream. So this is my second favorite palette so far for the year for Drugstore ones. All right, so next we're going to move into eyeliners. So I have one pencil and one liquid liner that I enjoyed from the Drugstore. So first I'll show you the pencil one is the L'Oreal Le Liner Signature. And this one is in the shade Noir Cashmere. But I love this pencil. It's a retractable pencil. I love the shade. I'm wearing it today. I used it in to do my top, and I also put it into my waterline. But it has such a very creamy texture. And the line is just very precise. And this one I find I don't have to tug so much on my eye. Like when I put on eyeliner on, you know, I've showed you guys before, I kind of have to tug on my eye a little bit and apply it to get the top line done. This one I find I don't have to do that tugging as much. It just glides on a little bit better than other pencils that I've had. And it's great for doing your waterline because it is waterproof. And it says it'll last about 24 hours. I mean, not that I wear my makeup for 24 hours. In the waterline, definitely it does not last that long. It'll last probably up to about 8 hours in the waterline. Above the eye, it lasts all day. It doesn't start doing any smudging or anything like that. And I find it doesn't, like when I'm applying it on the top lash, it doesn't skip like some pencils will do. So I really do it like that. And then I also find it doesn't flake, which some pencils again can do. So really enjoyed. This is one of my favorite pencils so far for Drugstore. And then for liquid liner, this one I can't remember. It was sometime I think at the beginning of the year I bought this one. I can't remember exactly when it was, but it is the Maybelline the Hyper Easy liquid liner, and it has the perfect tip. Love this one. It is so precise and glides on. It's one of those liners, it's hard to explain. Like when you apply some liquid liners, I find that sometimes it feels a little bit dry. Like some of them can get a little bit dry. This one is so liquidy. You have to be really careful with it because as you're putting it on, it is gliding. Like it literally does glide on. I do, like when I use a liquid liner, I do like little strokes on it. I don't do like one full line all in one like momentum. I do little short strokes. But this, my goodness, does it ever glide on easy. And so just That's all. The only word of a caution is sometimes it glides on too easy. And I like this one too. I use it a lot. I use liquid liners more when I'm going to be wearing false eyelashes, because I can sometimes just get it into that little corner there where the false eyelash kind of meets up with the lash. And this one doesn't fray in the inner corner, because sometimes I'll bring it right down into my tear duct area. And this one does not do any of that fraying, which is always a concern when you use liquid liners. I've had a few, even one of my higher end liquid liners does fray in the middle. So this one is really good for that. It doesn't do that. And then the pigmentation is just fantastic. They've made the pencil like just a really unique shape. So when you're holding it, it just fits nicely into your hand, and that helps with putting on the eyeliner. So really enjoy this one. That's my favorite liquid eyeliner from this year. And now we'll move into mascara. So this was a bit of a toughie. Love my mascaras. Found I didn't buy as many as I thought I did, or maybe I just didn't. I know there was a couple that they were okay. They were not like my absolute favorite, so I'm kind of leaving them on the back burner. Favorite mascara so far this year has to be the Maybelline, the Falsies Lash Lift. Love this mascara. I'm wearing it today, and surprisingly, it went on so good today that I'm not even wearing lashes. I was debating whether to put lashes on or not even wearing lashes today. So I love this one, and I didn't curl my lashes. I thought about curling them, and I thought, well, no, I'm going to be wearing lashes, so I won't bother, because when I wear false lashes, I usually don't curl my lashes. And just started putting it on. I'm like, wow, that's looking good today. But it has just a really nice wand. Like the brush head is really nice. The only caution that I would say is this one, you can't layer all that well. And when I say layering, so say I go and I put one coat on, and I sometimes let the mascara dry a little bit, and then I go and put another coat on. This one you can't do that with. I find whatever the formulation is, the fibers that whatever they're doing with the formulation, I put one coat on and I immediately have to start putting a second coat on, or it just dries and the brush just won't like go through the hairs anymore. So you either have to work really quickly, or just make sure that you're doing just one coat of it, or like multiple coats in a row. Don't let it dry on you, because it just doesn't work that way. But this is one of those few mascaras that really does give you the volume, the lengthening, and yeah, like I said, one of the best mascaras I've tried all year. And then an honorable mention is going to be also Maybelline. And what surprised me was I usually gravitate more towards L'Oreal mascaras, and there are some great L'Oreal mascaras, don't get me wrong. The last one I bought, it was okay. It's that Air Volume one. It wasn't my favorite, actually. I was surprised, because I'm usually a L'Oreal diehard mascara person. So the two products that turned out to be my favorites for so far this year are Maybelline ones. And the second one is the honorable mention is the Maybelline The Lash Sensational. That one. So the brush head is quite unique. So what you do is this inner part of the brush head, you initially use that from root to tip for your lashes. And then the outer tip, like the outer part, the brush heads, you use that to fan everything out. And it's really, really good. The formulation is nothing that I've used before. The only thing I find with this one is I at the end of the day, I find this one a little bit harder to get off with my eye makeup remover. I don't know why. It seems to just kind of want to sit on my lashes, and so this one, out of the both of them, I find this one a little bit tougher to get off at the end of the day. Again, that could just be me. Sorry, I forgot to tell you, this one I have in the shade brownish black. And you'll find a lot of my mascaras are I either do black or I do like a brown black. I have a few colored ones. I have like a L'Oreal blue one and a L'Oreal burgundy one. I really enjoy those ones, but I use those ones for specific looks, depending on what my eyeshadow is doing that day. But yeah, so this is my runner-up for the year for mascaras. And I forgot to mention, with actually both mascaras, I find neither one of them are clumpy. They don't, otherwise, like what I said about this one here, just make sure that you're doing continuous layers, and they don't flake. So both of these ones, that is one of the worst things that I find so annoying about mascaras is when they start flaking underneath here by the end of the day. So these ones, both of them, they don't have any flaking. So I just wanted to mention that as well. All right, so now we'll get into more face products. So surprising, there was only one bronzer this year that I tried from the drugstore that I enjoyed. And I just found a lot of companies, I don't know, they just didn't have a lot of bronzers going on this year, or I just wasn't interested in them. The one that I did pick up was the L'Oreal the True Match Lumi Bronze It. And I love this one. I used it today. So this one is not like a matte bronzer. It does have just tiny little particles in there that just kind of gives you more of like an illuminating bronzer. And I don't mind that actually. I more go towards matte bronzers, but this one I really didn't mind it having just, and it's very minimal. Like you have to go out into the daylight and like some sunlight to actually see the little particles on your face, but it applies so beautifully, and the color is just the perfect bronze shade. I love it. It's not like here, today when I put it up here, it doesn't go bam like you're wearing bronzer. I don't like that look when it's just like, oh my goodness, look at her, she's like bronzed her face up. Don't like those type of bronzers, and this one does not do that. It just kind of gives you like a sun-kissed kind of look to you. And this one I just apply it like I usually do, like along my hairline, down on my cheeks here, down under my chin. I run it down my neck, and I put a little bit on my nose just to kind of give you that sun-kissed look. And bronzer is one of those things that sometimes you can overdo it with bronzer. And believe me, I can sometimes have a bit of a heavy hand, especially if it's a new bronzer that I haven't used before. But this one, I don't know if you can really have a heavy hand with this one. I have yet to apply too much of this, if that makes sense. There's other bronzers that I've tried, and you're putting it on and it's like, oh yeah, you can see that you've put bronzer on. But this one is not like that at all. This shade I have is 02 medium. There was a light shade. That was way too light for me. That's more if you're like really fair, that would probably be suitable for you. But I really liked the shade of this one here. So next we're going to go in with blushes. If I'm like in a rush to get out the door, what am I just going to quickly grab and put on? And that's kind of how I gauge a lot of these products. So the two blushes that I have, one is the Physicians Formula Butter Blush, and the other one is the Burt's Bees Blush. So out of the two of them, this one I use not as often as I use the Burt's Bees one. This one is really nice. I like the texture of it. It is a very, like a buttery texture. Creamy. It doesn't settle into my fine lines that I've got going on here. But it deposits just enough color for me. This one is in the shade Vintage Rouge. So it's more of like a lighter blush. And this one would be really good to apply on very fair skin. This would just give you enough color. And this is days where maybe I've used a different bronzer and I just want like a touch of a little bit of blush. And this is what this one does. It just deposits enough of shade for me. But like I said, the texture is so buttery. I love all the butter lines from Physicians Formula. They're just so good for your skin. And the texture is just so creamy. So this is one of my favorites for the year for blush. And then for this one here, I guess I was surprised at how well this worked, because I had never really used Burt's Bees products before, other than like their lip balm. I've used that, but I had never gone into the actual using some of the makeup products. And this one really surprised me, and I'm so happy I purchased it. This is my go-to for a drugstore blush. And as soon as I'm wearing it today, and as soon as you dip your brush in, it coats the brush, and I literally just kind of dab it on. And even after that first application, there's color there. It's not chalky, and it just makes my skin look beautiful after. And I just like the whole Burt's Bees philosophy, right? They're just a very natural company. I forgot to say I have this in the shade Shy Pink. So this is the perfect rose shade for me. There was another one that I know a bunch of other YouTubers talk about. It's the shade, don't quote me, I thought it was the shade Cinnamon or something. Cinnamon is in the name of it. But that one looked to be a little bit too brown for me. I like more like peachy and rosy kind of shades. So this one was perfect for me. And like I said, this is the one that I use pretty much on a daily basis. So absolutely love this one. Great formulation, and just so surprised at how pigmented it is. Now, surprisingly, for being a highlighter junkie, I did not purchase a lot of highlighters this year. Well, I did more higher end ones, but not so much drugstore. I just found that I just didn't really see a lot of the highlighters, or I had maybe bought them last year, but I'm trying to concentrate on stuff for this year. So the two that I purchased that I really enjoy, one is the first Physicians Formula, the Butter Highlighter. And I have this one in the shade Champagne. But again, it's just that butter formula. It's fantastic. But look at that. Isn't that just, oh my goodness, it's so beautiful. And there, I just put it on my, look at that. It is like a more of a goldy tone. If you don't like goldy tones, then you won't like this one. And that's what surprised me about this one, is because of that goldy one. I don't usually use gold highlighters all that much. I do kind of like more like pinks or rosy tone kind of highlighters. But this one, I love it. Again, it does the same thing like the blush, and it doesn't sink into, because I'm putting the highlighter more up by my crow's feet here, and just does not settle into these fine lines. I have not used it today. I was using another one. Same thing like the blush. It has that, just that really creamy texture, and just deposits enough color. Very, very pigmented. You just basically, I just take the brush and like skim a little bit of the brush on the product, and it just, in like one swoop, it just deposits the color. So absolutely love this one. And then for a more of a liquid highlighter, I had seen this one come out, it was quite some time ago, but I just bought it this year. So it's the L'Oreal, the True Match, the Lumi Glotion. And what I enjoy about this product is it's very unique in the sense that you can use it as a highlighter, which I do a lot. I like more liquid. I've been trying to use more like liquids and creams and that sort of thing to help with the skin and the, you know, get settling into my fine lines. But it is just like a lotion. And the texture is so creamy, but it absorbs beautifully. And when I said that it's a unique formula, so you can mix it in with foundation if you want. If you want like a really dewy, luminous look going that day, you can mix it in with your foundation. Use it as a highlighter. You could even just use this on its own, like without, if you just want like a no makeup day that day, you can use this one. I think it's just such a versatile, fantastic product. And it does come in a different, like a few different shades. I have this one in 902 Light Glow, and I think there's a darker one. So you could use this as the highlighting one, and then the darker one you could use as like a bronzer if you wanted to, or like for contouring. I think that would be like really, really pretty. And I find it just leaves my skin looking like just really healthy looking that day. Just gives me that nice luminous glow. You know, I like glow, illuminating, all of that sort of stuff. Having that on repeat all the time. So that is one of my absolute favorite liquid highlighters. But again, like I said, very versatile product. Now moving on to the lips. My favorite lip liner, as you know, is usually the NYX, the retractable in the shade Nude. So I wanted to try something a little bit differently this time and go with another shade. It's a little bit different because this is like a sharpener pencil, but I still really enjoy this. So the one for this year is NYX, but this is in the shade Nude Suede Shoes. And like I said, it's more of a pencil. It's going to be that one right there. Now it is in the nude shade family, but it kind of gives like a peachy undertone to it. I have it on as a lip liner today. And there's a lot of times where I just will use this and fill in my lips and throw a little bit of gloss on, and I'm set to go. It just deposits such a beautiful color, very soft. It doesn't ever tug on my lips. Sometimes I find some eyeliners from other brands that I've used, they're just not very soft. And when you start applying them on your lip, they are actually tugging on your lip. So do not like those at all. So this is a really nice creamy formula, but this is my favorite for this year. I I still have never really found one for the NYX, my retractable one. That is my holy grail lip liner. I've used it so many times on my channel. You guys are sick of hearing about it, I know. And it really helps with the color for not, like, colors not bleeding into all of my little lines that I'm starting to get around my lips here. So that is just absolutely love this pencil. And then for a lipstick, this was probably the toughest category for me because I always buy lip products, love lip products. I know it, especially this year, I think the poor industry has gone the other way because people aren't wearing lip products as much because of, you know, all the mask wearing. But I still love wearing lip products even with a mask. You just have to find the right type of lip product to wear under your mask so they're not smudging. But the one that I love, I actually went and bought another one of this one the other day because I've used this one so much. So it is the L'Oreal Color Rich. This is the Plump and Shine. This is number 107 Coconut Plump. Love the packaging. The packaging is just, it sold me. But when I saw the actual shade, it is so beautiful. Let me see if I can find some room here. It's very light. It's this one right here. But if you're just wanting to put a little bit of color on your lips, this is the perfect shade. And it does tingle. That I did a first impression, oh, it was like many months ago. I did a first impression on it. And I put it on and it surprised me for a lipstick. I have like plumping lip glosses and I'm expecting that to kind of give you that little bit of, you know, tingling, but I wasn't expecting it from the lipstick. And oh my goodness, I don't know whether it did any difference to it. The concept is there of whether there's any plumping going on. Who knows? But love the shade. Very creamy texture. With this lipstick, I don't have to wear any glosses with it. Look at the shine. This is the one I'm wearing today. So the combination of these two is fantastic. I love the combination of these two. And it wears for a decent amount of time. Again, it's a bullet lipstick. So bullet lipsticks aren't going to last as long as like a liquid lipstick. I would say this, I've had this on for about, I don't know, a few hours. And it's still, you know, doing okay. It doesn't do like a lot of transferring and that sort of thing. But absolutely love this one. Favorite bullets lipstick of the year. Now for lip glosses, I have a few favorites here that came out, or not came out, but that I purchased this year. And a lot, like I said, a lot of this stuff, some of this may not be new, like in the new sense of 2020, but they're new to me. So that's why I say that it's new products. So the one that I really enjoy using is the Milani. This is the Keep It Full Nourishing Lip Plumper. And I have this one in the shade Champagne. But what I'll do is I'll put a bit on. It does have that little bit of color and it's working right now. I can feel it plumping. Oh my goodness. But it's a huge applicator. Look at how glossy it is. And it's not sticky. That's what I really enjoy about this one. I don't like lip glosses that make my lips sticky. I can't stand that. My hair gets stuck to it and everything else. But this one does not do that at all. Love it. So this is like my new favorite for lip glosses, for like, especially for a plumping one. And then I know this is probably going to be on so many people's list, and because they came out this year and they are just fantastic. I have two shades of them. So I'm talking about the Maybelline. This is the Lifter Gloss. And I have one in the shade 02 Ice and 01 Pearl. And again, just a nice big applicator. I'll just swatch it for you guys. I'm running out of hand space here, but I'll try my best. So that is the, hopefully you can see it. That is the Ice one. Look at how pretty that is. Oh my goodness, that is just so beautiful. So that's definitely if you want some sparkle on your lip. And then the other shade that I have is actually kind of, now that I'm looking at the two of them side by side, they're quite it's quite similar to the shade of the Milani. You can't really, it's hard to see. That one is going to be right here. It's more like a pinky shade. But they're both just so beautiful. Again, not sticky at all on the lips, which I really enjoy. And again, they're a gloss, so they're not going to last like an extremely long time. You will have to reapply them throughout the day. But what was so good about these ones here is it has hyaluronic acid in it. So that's going to be really, really nourishing for your lips. Very hydrating. And so that's why I really enjoy these ones, because these are actually probably good for your lips because of that hyaluronic acid in them. So that is my whole Drugstore 2020 products that I really enjoyed using. Like I said earlier, I was surprised actually that I thought I bought maybe a few more products, but they just didn't make the cut. These are the ones that I really have enjoyed using so far this year. So leave me a comment down below whether you've tried some of these products and what your take is on them and what sort of your products were for 2020. I always like to hear from you guys of kind of what your choices are. That's where I get some of these ideas. Like I said, the lip liner, somebody had told me to try this one and I did, and I absolutely love it. And there was another one that somebody told me to try. I can't remember which one it was now. Oh, I think it was the Revlon primer. Somebody told me to try this one and I did and love it. So I always like to hear from you guys. So make sure you leave some comments down below for me. And before you go, I would love for you to consider subscribing to my channel and becoming a little part of my world here on YouTube. And don't forget, I'm going to have a higher end video coming up, and I'll also have a skincare and hair care product video coming up, so don't miss those ones. And everything that I've mentioned here today will be linked and listed down below if you're interested to see what exactly it is that I've used. Hopefully when I start editing, this isn't too long of a video, but it is a compilation of like a whole year-end video. So it might be a little bit longer than some of my other ones. But I hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed reviewing all these products for you. And then I can't wait to show you the high-end one, because some of those products I was surprised at how well they worked. So I'm going to be filming that one pretty quick here. So hope you enjoy that one as well. I hope everybody's looking forward to 2021 and hoping that we're going to have a better year. And I'll wish you now happy holidays, however you celebrate that. And looking forward to 2021 for sure. And as always, I hope everybody has a great week and a great life. And I will see you all very soon in my next video. Bye.